And that is Japan's latest patented technology, the emGuarde. emGuarde stands for EM, electromagnetic, guard, which means we want to guard against any of these electromagnetic fields that are harming to our body. So let's look into how we used to live. When we were in our childhood days, do you remember any of these games? If you remember any of these games, playing outdoors, catching tadpoles, playing with insects, we are always like out, playing with nature. We are hands-on, playing with sticks and rocks. But nowadays, as you can see, all these children, our generation today is learning from our devices, our laptop. We are also getting our news from social media. We're also doing our business, e-commerce online. Everything is done online. But let me ask you a question. You ever walk into a cafe or a restaurant, you look at people around you, they're all on their phones, right? They're all on their phones. No one's talking to anyone anymore. It's either a couple is sitting down across each other, they're communicating through their social media on their phone. They're talking to each other on their phone, right? So I just want to ask you something. If you see these children, like this slide right here, if they are young, their brains are still developing compared to an adult, do you think for their brains, their eyes, their bodies that are still developing, is it good for them? Yes or no? You can type in the chat if you're there. But if you're tuning in, absolutely okay, this will be an educational background. But I just want to share with you, children are more susceptible to EMR radiation compared to adults. Why? Because their heads are much smaller, their skulls are much thinner. It actually affects their development as they grow. We have plenty of sources of pollution. We have water, air, noise pollution. And if you know, electromagnetic radiation pollution is something that we have not actually been aware of. Why? Because it's invincible. Water pollution, you can actually see the color. Air pollution, you can see the smokes. Noise pollution, you can actually hear it. But electromagnetic radiation pollution, we cannot see it, but our body is experiencing the effects of it. This is actually a link from NASA. Now, if you look around your living room right now, there are aircon. I'm actually sitting right in front of aircon. There is TV. There is your plugs, your sockets, your lights, your fan. All of these are emitting EMR radiation. This white waves like you see here. Now, imagine your whole entire family is sitting in the living room or in your room, and all these devices are radiating and are emitting these EMR rays and going through your body, going through your child's body, going through their eyes, their brains, their organs, their body. Can you imagine how harmful it is, but we just cannot see it? There are different types of EMR radiation. For example, everyone knows our phones, right? Recently, Apple just released their iPhone 15. Oh my goodness. Now, we have from your Wi-Fi, your air conditioning, your TV, high tension cables, your microwave, your plug sockets, your laptop. If you're watching this from your phone or your laptop right now, I'm telling you, if you don't have emGuarde, you are exposed to EMR radiation. But as you can see, we cannot move or we cannot live without it. We are living in a digitalized world. Let me ask you something. For those of you with your phones, your smartphones or your Samsung, your Huawei or whatsoever, Oppo, usually when you're holding your phones, right, where do you keep your phones? For women, it's usually in their handbags, right? But for men, where do you keep your phones? In your pocket, right? Now your phone's so big, also cannot fit in the pocket anymore. But all these if you're putting your phones in your pocket, it's actually near where? It's near your hips, it's near your reproductive organs. That's why nowadays, not only just EMR, but stress related, all these causes a lot of correlation between infertility and all this EM radiation from your devices. Now, your laptops, your microwave, for those of you, I know in this world, we're moving so fast. We're in a fast-paced world. So we need everything convenience and fast, right? Instant gratification. But let me tell you something. I am a public health degree holder, so I learned a lot of prevention and healthcare and policies. And one of the things that I learned in my college days is, in my university days, is that microwave, stay away from microwave. If you have the time, just take the time to heat your food in on a pan, because why? Microwaves, they're emitting a kind of radiation that does changes the molecules of your food. Can you imagine in less than 30 seconds your food is already heated up? There's something that's going on there that, in our convenience, yes, I understand that parents, sometimes children are running around, they just don't have time. I understand that, but as much as you can, just try to heat up your food on the stove or a pan if possible. For air conditioning, you're sleeping. For those of you in the city, I believe you have air conditioning, right? You can type in the chat AC if you have conditioning in your home. Now, conditioning, we sleep with it, we wake up, we drive our car to work in air conditioning in our car, we go to the office, maybe a 9 to 5 job or under the aircon again. Then after work, you're like, oh, I want to go enjoy myself, go to a movie or go to a shopping mall. We're still under aircon. After that, we come home, get undressed and everything, and you're now sleeping under an aircon again. So what does that mean? We're constantly exposed 24/7 to EM radiation, especially with high tension cable area here. We have some on the Duke Highway, we have some on all these. If you realize, all these properties actually are cost less in high tension cable area, if you ever notice that. Why? Because they're emitting a kind of radiation that is unsafe for your health. Now this, if you're asking me, Eunice, what kind of radiation are we talking about? Is it the Japan radiation? If you heard that, then no. We're not talking about Japan radiation. We're talking about non-ionizing and ionizing spectrum. So this is a spectrum. The ionizing part, which you see the red color here, the UV X-ray, if someone gets into an accident, they go into the emergency, and the doctor asks them, hey, I'll need you to do an MRI scan or a UV scan on this, on X-ray scan on this patient. And usually for this kind of exams, X-ray exams, we're only exposed to it in a short amount of time. But what we want to focus and what I want to bring your attention to is a non-ionizing part. Now the non-ionizing is between 3 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. And usually these are low energy. Ionizing is high energy. This low energy non-ionizing over long periods of time actually affects our body. Like your power lines, your radio, your cell phones, your microwave, your infrared, your visible LED lights. All this actually affects our body. How does it affect our body? According to the FCC report, which is Federal Communications Commission, this is from the US, and what they found out was that in their bulletin itself, they wrote the human body absorbs RF, which is radio frequency energy, at some frequencies more effectively than others at a range of 30 to 300 megahertz. Such energy EM waves can cause damage to cells and DNA, leading to an increased risk of cancer, mutations, and other health problems. Now, if you see this little video right here, this animation, you see that a human body is moving and there's electricity going through, like thunderstorm right there, right? What this is trying to tell you is that our body is an electrical conductor. If you remember from chemistry, our body are carrying all these ions, positive ions like potassium, magnesium, and then we have the negative ions. Like all these actually plays a part, and we are an electrical conductor, which means that our organs actually emit a kind of frequency. That's why if you remember studying, people are like, oh, you should hear all this classical music. Why? It helps you to bring you more focus, clarity, and attention to your studying. This is actually a frequency that is coming off. So if you see this table chart right here, our brain, our human body, our heart, our liver, our pancreas, everything in our body emits a kind of frequency. And if that frequency from our body matches the outside frequency, it will affect one another. And on this bulletin right here, I'm just going to move to the next one. Actually, this bulletin is sharing that our body absorbs EM radiation the most efficient between 30 to 300 megahertz. So from 30 to 300 megahertz, that's when our body is most susceptible to be affected when the frequency is between 30 to 300 megahertz. So just like I mentioned earlier, for those of you here, that if our body frequency matches the outside, it affects one another. So the next video that I'm going to show you is called the resonance theory in physics. So let's watch this man. Oh wait, let me move to the next one. Yeah, there's this physics teacher. What he's teaching is that if the same hertz is the same at the same level, it will affect the ping pong ball. But if it's not if it's resonating or emanating in different frequency, it will not affect one another. So let's watch this video together. Yep, so that video shows you that if it's emitting same frequency, it will affect one another. So this is our detector. Earlier I was mentioning the announcement that we have the RD9300. I have it with me. It measures in microwatts. It measures the power density of EM radiation. Now, later on, I'm going to show you a quick demo of how the emGuarde works. But I just want to show you this is what we use as a measuring tool. It's from a different company. So we are using their tool to measure to test out the presence of EMR. Now, how does EM radiation affect our health? Even the World Health Organization, WHO, also mentioned that classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as possibly carcinogenic to humans based on an increased risk for glioma, a malignant type of brain cancer associated with wireless phone use. Now, this is WHO saying, they already released this in 2011, this information, that there is a correlation. And as you know, WHO is a very high reputable organization. Everyone in the world, every country in the world knows WHO. So if WHO is saying that there is a correlation between brain cancer associated with wireless phone use, do you think we need to listen to them? Yes or no? Yes, right? This is a low-level radiation, the invincible killer guide, growing threat from electromagnetic fields. So this was a guidebook released long time ago. And there's no year here, but how do I know that this guide was released long time ago? Look at the pictures. Look at this computer here. This is a CPU unit, right? I think it's like very old already. Even the phone, if you look down at the picture here, the Nokia phone, wow. During this time when these devices were released, they're already talking about low-level radiation, the invincible killer. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think our devices today, like our iPhone 15, our Samsung, our upgraded smartphones, do you think they have more radiation or less radiation? More, right? We have more radiation today. Why? Because we're living in a digitalized world and we don't know how to move forward we don't know how to move forward with it, because all these devices, we practically need it for our life, right? For those of you here, if you left your phone at home, can you live without your phone? I would say maybe, maybe not. Some of you are like, I think I can, And some of you are, no, I have to go back and drive home. I would drive home to collect my phone. Like for me, I need it for Waze and Google Maps because I'll just get lost, you know? This is from the FCC Bulletin, the Federal Communications Commission's Bulletin. And what they actually shared is they've shared the symptoms of long-term exposure from EM radiation. And if you see the numbers and values here, we have slightly dangerous, the dangerous column, very dangerous, and health hazard. And can you imagine, look at the health hazard zone. It's from 1,500 to 2,000 microwards. That is categorized as health hazard. And how does it affect our health? Let's see it together. Symptoms of it: body and muscle pain, numbness, concentration and learning problems, brain and leukemia, cancer, memory loss, fatigue and lethargy, dizziness and balancing problems, heart problems, infertility, like earlier we mentioned, headaches and migraines. For those of you, I know a lot of people here, when you're looking at the screen for too long, you get a headache, you get tension in front here, you get migraines, right? Body and muscle pain / numbness. Oh my goodness. This was my story. This year, I actually signed myself up subscription for my iPhone 15. I usually have an iPhone 12 and I got it for my birthday. And guess what? Since I got my iPhone 15 Pro Max, all of a sudden my left arm started to get numb. And I realized, wow, what is going on? And when emGuarde came out and I was learning more about the EMR radiation and how it affects our body through the symptoms of numbness, oh my goodness, I was shocked. I actually went to my other friends. My mom has an iPhone Pro Max, and another friend of mine, my sister's in-law, she had an iPhone Pro Max too. And when I shared my story about how I got my arm numb, they're like, oh my goodness, I thought it was just me. And I said, oh my goodness. Okay, we're not against Apple here, but I'm just sharing from experience. Like this, the radiation you cannot stop radiation from happening. It's just gonna keep getting more and increase more, and we're gonna live more in it. Continue on with the symptoms is eye soreness and blindness. That it affects our eyesight, which we will see in the research later on. Immune system recovery, sleeping problems. For those of you who have poor quality of sleep, listen up. If you're constantly on your devices before you sleep, or you're scrolling on your Facebook, or you're watching this right now before you sleep, I have to tell you, make sure maybe if you can, 30 minutes before you sleep, read a book or give your eyes a rest. It would change just by a little habit shift or change. It can change your quality of sleep. But a lot of times it creates a lot of insomnia. Why? Because all these devices are affecting our body, our eyes, our brain, and so forth. Stress and anxiety problems, DNA mutations, skin irritation, and rashes. Oh my goodness, there's so many, and there's so much more symptoms that affect. Now, draw your attention to the health hazard zone from the very dangerous 1,000 to 1,500 microwatts. Let's look, remember the value here. 1,000 to 1,500 is very dangerous. 1,500 to 2,000 microwatts is already health hazard, okay? So now, I'm gonna get back my detector. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, all right? And I'm gonna spotlight for everybody. Once again, I have my detector here. I'm gonna turn off my emGuarde and let's see what emGuarde does. Yeah, so I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna do a quick demo. If I can find my phone. Oh, my phone is behind me. Let me just grab it real quick. Oh, it's right here. All right, this is my birthday gift to myself, but I invest so much money, it's just causing more harm to my body. But thank God I have the emGuarde. All right. So I am going to turn off the emGuarde and let's see. Usually my nieces, I have 3 nieces and they're all girls. They love, when I turn on my phone, all the kids just start running to you. If you ever experienced that, you can type 1 in the group chat. So I'm going to turn on Netflix and we're going to measure the amount. And I want you to see the value of this. How has it? Is it dangerous? I want you to see it for yourself. So I have this health detector here. And I'm going to turn on, let's say, is there any, okay, let's see this pony show that my nieces loves to watch, okay? So I'm going to turn this on. Wow, look at that. It's already at 2,900, 2,008. Is it safe or not safe? Not safe, right? Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to show you. This is a marker of 0 right now, right? I have LED lights up here, but I just want to show you that my body right now has no EM radiation coming through. But I want to show you how does EM radiation affect our health? So I already bring it a little bit closer, you already can start detecting. But if you see here, it's already 2006. Let me travel down my arm. Let me play this video first. It's still beeping. Can you see that? It travels down the arm. And then it usually stops at my elbow. Yeah. But if I go up, this is the value of it. Yeah. So now let's see what emGuarde does. When I turn on emGuarde, let me hold this properly first before I drop it. I just turned the emGuarde on. And look, the value is straight away turned to 0. Can you see that? 0. This detector actually is to test the presence of EMR radiation. It's not to test how wide the coverage is, but this, can you see, with emGuarde turned on, the detector has already detected 0. So this is what emGuarde does. I'm going to just turn it off. This is a very simple demo. But you imagine the value of my iPhone Pro Max is already what? Remember, 2,500, the highest it go. And remember, the value of from this slide that we saw, it's a health hazard zone. Can you imagine a health hazard zone? My phone is health hazard to me. And I've already tested this with all the other phones, all under the sun, every brand that you can think of, and all of them emits more than 2,000 microwatts. So imagine if you're holding a phone that is health hazard to you, imagine if you're giving this to kids or children below the ages of 3, what it will do to their development, right? Is it safe? Do you think it's safe or not safe? Do you think it's good or bad? Yeah. So this is a simple demo of what emGuarde does. Now, our whole technology, this emGuarde, a patented technology for a 49-year-old private Japanese, is based on this person's research, Dr. Magda Havas. I love her research because this was done a long time ago. And right now, what she researched about, actually her research pointed out, is that a normal red blood cell, if you see the bottom picture, this is what it looks like. Circle, it's sparsed out, it's healthy, it's floating, but with just 70 minutes of computer use, and this is an old model of computer, look at how your blood cells are stacking. Your blood cells are stacking like a touching like that, or like a worm stacked together. This is called a rouleau formation. Rouleau comes from a French word. And just 10 minutes of your phone use, just 10 minutes of your phone. We all use our phone longer than that, right? Do we only use our phone for 10 minutes per day? No, we use our phones longer than that. Imagine, it's even worse. Look at how stacked your red blood cells are. This is what EM radiation does to your red blood cells at a cellular level. And what she found out was that this type of rouleau formation is frequently found in a lot of cancer patients. And then you ask me, Eunice, so what if my red blood cells are rouleau formation? What does it mean? It means that your red blood cells are stacking. There is no oxygen flow between the red blood cells. There is also no poor circulation. That's why our arms get numb. Poor circulation, that means that's why we get headache, we get migraines. Those are the symptoms. We have reduced waste removal, so some of them constipation, headache, fatigue, difficulty concentration, numbness, tingling, and cold extremities. So for those of you here, if you experience any of that, that is because of EM radiation. Now, this is one of the exciting things I like to share. Based on Dr. Magda Havas, I actually did my own red blood cell test, live blood cell. I'm going to show you, I am a female, 30 years old, I would say pretty young still. But me and my dad actually did this live blood test to see how EM radiation affects my red blood cell. So let's watch it together. We did 2 trials. The first trial is when we played with our phones for 10 minutes, and then we took a live red blood cell with the prick of my finger, the arm which I usually get numb on my left arm. So let's watch it together. So this is me and my dad. First trial, we played on our iPhones for 20 minutes. And then right away, we did the prick of our finger, testing our red live blood cell. And look at my red blood cells formation after scrolling on my iPhone, on Facebook and Instagram for 20 minutes. Rural formation, exactly like how Dr. Magda Havas have predicted. There is poor circulation, no oxygen flow. All the symptoms of numbness is coming out. The second trial that we did was that we play with our devices and turn on emGuarde, technology like that. We did the live blood test once more, and look at the vast difference. Just by 20 minutes, no longer stacking, my red blood cells is protected, it's spread out, it's sparse. Imagine that. I thought I was young, so my body immune system would fight a bit more. But no age is safe from EM radiation. So a clear picture that I can show you, a before and after. This is my before emGuarde and after emGuarde. Can you see the vast difference? Before there's rural formation, it's stacking, less circulation, no oxygen. This is for my left arm, that's why I keep getting numb. And after turning on emGuarde, look at that beautiful red blood cells. There's oxygen flow, there's nutrient transport, there's nutrient disposal. This is what our red blood cells should look like. And of course, this is only in the span of 20 minutes. Imagine that. Just 20 minutes of our iPhone use. My screen time is like 8 hours per day. On iPhone, you actually can see how much screen time you spend on your phone. If you go to settings or you go to screen time, you actually can see. But I don't know about other phones. Once again, I mentioned earlier, it affects your eyesight. Now, EM radiation affects all parts of our organs, but one of the very visible organs that we always see on our screen is our eyes, right? So today we're going to learn just one part of our body, microcirculation test from ophthalmology. This is an ophthalmologist. He is an eye specialist doctor, and he is a vice president of Hime Eye Hospital and a director of Hime Hospital Aesthetic. This is Dr. Liu Renjie. And what he did was that he wanted to see how EM radiation affects our blood flow and microcirculation of our eyes. If you see this chart here, there is a number n equals to 10, which means he got 10 participants on board. And what he did was he put them in 3 stages. The first stage, he just measures the average blood flow and microcirculation of your eye. The PSV is peak systolic velocity, so it's how fast and the speed of your blood flow in your eye. And what he found out in the first stage, averagely, it's about 20.1. The second stage, he asked the 10 participants to use their mobile phones for 30 minutes. And guess what? He measures the speed of the microcirculation of blood flow in their eyes, and averagely, it dropped to 16.2. 16.2. Imagine that. Just by looking your screen on your phones for 30 minutes. That's why a lot of people are, oh, my eyes get dry. Ayo, so bright. Or like you get a headache on screen. It's because of that. And the third stage he did was he brought his 10 participants and he turned on a technology like emGuarde right behind me. And guess what? He measures the average speed blood flow microcirculation of their eyes, and it increased to 25.9. Imagine that, my friends, 25.9. You might ask me, hey Eunice, how come the third stage is better than the first stage? The first stage, you never play with their phones, they never do anything. Now let me ask you something. We're living in a digitalized world, right? Everywhere you look around you, there is lights, there is aircon, there is telephone centers. In the mall, you have bright lights, you have all these digitalized things around you, right? So this is one of the factors. These are the factors surrounding you that also emits EM radiation other than your phone. And you imagine, if this can affect adults, can you imagine how bad the effect is for children who are just developing? 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, now all looking at their iPads, right? Imagine their blood flow. That's why if you see children nowadays, children are wearing more thicker and thicker spectacles. If you see children around you now, a lot of times, especially during COVID, A lot of these children are going to eye doctors, getting their glasses la, their power is up la. All these things is because of EMR radiation. For those of you Kangen members or Enagic existing members, you already know this book, Killing Cancer Not People. I've already read this book like few times already. I don't know where my book is. I thought I brought it out, but it's okay. So even in this book by he's a researcher, Robert Wright. He even wrote that EM radiation, cordless and cell phones, smart meters, computers, Wi-Fi interconnection to autism, Alzheimer's, obesity, multiple sclerosis, allergies, cancer, and others. Caused by EMF pollution now includes decrease in immune function and cancer. Wow, even this book that was released a long time ago already brought out the subject of EMF, electromagnetic fields. Our very reputable Dr. Otto Heinrich Wolbert, he won the Nobel Prize in 1931. And for those of you existing Kangen members, once again, this is not foreign to you. All forms of cancer have two basic conditions: acidosis, too acidic, and hypoxia, which is the lack of oxygen. Deprive a cell of 35% of its oxygen for 48 hours and it may become cancerous. Imagine that. And do you remember my video that I showed you earlier, my red blood cell? When it's stacking like rouleau formation, that's when it's poor circulation and lack of oxygen. Wow. All these research are actually agreeing with one another and it's trying to tell us all something. We just need to have the awareness and openness to say like, hey, we have this problem, we need to address it. So introducing emGuarde. EM stands for electromagnetic. Guard, we want to guard against the electromagnetic radiation. This is the next essential appliance for every home and workplace. So it's not just limited to your home, your family, but also the workplace that you're in, your office, malls, hotels, developments, and development buildings, and all those things. So I just want to expand your mind to not just your home. We also call it the harmonizer because it harmonizes the frequency up to 1 gigahertz. It defends you and your loved one against harmful, invincible EM radiation for 24/7 if you place it in the right position. And it's also the best thing, it's low maintenance. It's a plug and play, my friends, with a lifespan of up to 5 years or more. It is a patented technology and we are very, very proud that it is patented. It's not easy to get a patent for that. What is the coverage? It's 8 meters of defense. It's designed to reduce the negative effects of EM waves, ensuring a safe and harmonious environment for you and your family. So 8 meters is 4-meter radius. It's like a sphere. It can go up and down. It can go through walls. It can go through ceilings. For me, I also actually brought it to me when I drive for long hours. I realize I'm not as tired when I have emGuarde on with my vehicle, because when you're driving, it's also EM radiation. Imagine all the EV cars now. A lot of people think, oh, you're going to save energy, but guess what? All these EV cars have very high radiation. You're sitting on a high battery, literally sitting on a battery, So you can take this along your high drives or your long drives. I've also brought it with me when I flew to Philippines, to Kuching. I flew to a couple of places, and I brought it with me on Malaysia Airlines. Completely safe. It does not affect any of the signals, any of the Wi-Fi too. So the next question you might ask me, hey Eunice, what is the coverage like? So remember earlier we mentioned that emGuarde, the coverage of it is 8 meters, but what it does is that it sends a specific harmonics frequency to cancel out between 30 to 1000 megahertz. So if you're asking me, hey Eunice, what about my Wi-Fi? Great question. Wi-Fi is usually how much? 2.4 gig, 5 gig. Right now we have almost 6 gig already. Better not get the 6 gig. 5 gig is enough to be more safe. So emGuarde actually harmonizes up to 1000 megahertz, which is lesser than your Wi-Fi 2.4 gig, which is 2400 megahertz. So within that coverage area, it's only up to 1000. So you're completely fine. It does not affect your Wi-Fi. It does not affect your signals. And once again, if this actually jams Wi-Fi or internet connection, the government will not pass it, So because why? It's a jam signal, you know. If you don't like your neighbor, you just like, hey, I don't like you, I don't want to give you Wi-Fi, then you on that jam signal. Actually cannot, right? So this is actually up to only 1000 megahertz. We have patented, it's approved, and you can have this invention knowing that you're safe. So how does emGuarde work? If you see this chart right here, a typical EM radiation source from your phone, when you turn on your phone, it travels in waves, right? That like the invincible wave. It goes through your eyes, your brains, your skull, your organs. And what emGuarde does is that, as you see on the next, the second box, it sends out a specific harmonics frequency that will suppress and break the pathways of EM radiation from affecting your eyes, your brain, your heart, your organs, and whatsoever between you and your family for up to 8 meters of coverage. So if you're asking me, what's the analogy like Eunice, I can't understand this. Can you give me a simpler understanding for what EM radiation does? Yes, I can share with you now. So I like the analogy of example train tracks, right? You have a train and then the track. The track is the pathway, as you can see, right? It guides the train, and the train is your EM radiation. The track is a pathway. Now, if it's crossing a bridge, right, and I cut the tracks, take out the tracks, will the train pass? No, the train will go down, and then it will stay there, right? Or maybe destroyed, or maybe it's just like the remnants of the train will be there. So it's exactly like that. emGuarde breaks the pathways so that the EM radiation does not affect you. Now, EM radiation is a type of energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted or diverted. So that's what emGuarde does. So this is just another animation of what it does. It actually explains the earlier slide. And when emGuarde is turned on, it breaks the pathway. It sends out a canceling signal to break the pathways between 30 to 1000 megahertz. This is what it does. If you're asking me, hey Eunice, another question. Why is it only up to 1000 megahertz? Good question. Remember earlier the FCC bulletin, it says that our body, remember our brain, our eyes and everything, our body is most susceptible, can be most affected between 30 to 300 megahertz. So if emGuarde covers up to 1000 megahertz, the 30 to 300 range is within the 1000 megahertz coverage. So that means that our body is covered, our health is covered. We only need up to that range, but generously enough, emGuarde goes up to 1000 megahertz. All right, so this is a compliant testing laboratory report. It is from Shenzhen, and what it does is actually in the first picture, it shows a result in electrical field intensity, measuring from 30 to 1000 megahertz before emGuarde. And when after emGuarde turned on, look at that. Just like that train track analogy, when you cut the tracks, this is what emGuarde does. It breaks the pathways from EMR affecting your body and your health. This is what it shows. So right now, I've already showed you the product, right? I've got a new message. Oh, great. Thank you, Kat Nasria. I appreciate that you're learning together. Type in the group chat if you are getting value from this education sharing. You can type 1 in the group chat. Really appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you, Kat Nasria. So now that I've shown you the potential of, there's so much potential of this patented technology. We learned that EM radiation exists around us. We know that EM radiation affects us in a microcirculation level, our blood cells, even our eyes, only just one part of our organ, right? We actually research. There's so much more, but if I show you all the research on different parts of our body, it will take like until 12 a.m. So I'm not going to keep it that long, but I just want to show you that EM radiation affects our blood cells in a microcirculation level. It affects our eyes. It actually affects a lot of our body. And emGuarde, what it does is that it breaks the pathways. It sends out a harmonics frequency to cancel out those signals from affecting our body. So that is the first part of my presentation. The second part, which I'm very, very mostly excited about, is that this emGuarde has also another opportunity. Not only are you investing in a product that keeps you and your family safe for 24/7 up to 8-meter coverage for more than 5 years or more, it actually also has a business plan behind it. Yes, boleh. So this emGuarde, this retail price is 6,620 ringgit in Malaysia. So, Kak Nasria, if you want to tell me where you're from, is it from Malaysia? Are you from Malaysia or are you from another part of the country? That will be very helpful. So in Malaysia, it goes up 6,620. Now, before you, this is the product, 6,620, and the installment plan. We have installment plan for here, and it's 0 interest free. Malaysia, okay, bagus. We have installment plan for only 276 ringgit per month. You get to have this emGuarde product in your home, protecting you and your family 24/7 of an 8-meter coverage for more than 5 years. Now, if you ask me, Eunice, mahal ni. I understand. I know money is a lot. But let me ask you this question. A lot of people nowadays, when they buy something, it's because they buy the value of the product, right? A lot of value from it. iPhone 15 just only came out, and people in Malaysia are lining up the day before it launched just to get a 7K up to 8,000 iPhone 12 tau. iPhone 12 pula, iPhone 15. People are lining up to pay the amount, 7,000 to 8,000 to get an iPhone 15 that will cost more EM radiation. But as you can see, people are buying it because of the value of what they can get from iPhone. So this is the retail price. If you spend 6,620, you not only get to protect yourself, your family's health from potential risk. I like to think emGuarde as like an insurance. You're buying it to insure you and your family from the potential harmful risk of EM radiation. And we also have installments up to 24 months, 276 ringgit per month. If you actually break down satu hari macam 10 ringgit, ya, 10 ringgit. Now imagine, Starbucks coffee, latte berapa? 15 ringgit, 12 ringgit, 15 ringgit, or a black coffee. Okay, let's say a black Starbucks coffee is about 10 ringgit. For less than 1 Starbucks coffee per day, you already get to have this emGuarde product in your home, protecting you, your children, your parents from EM potential radiation up to 8 meters for more than 5 years, with just less than 1 Starbucks coffee per day. Now, does that sound good to you? I would say yes. I want to protect my parents because I love them a lot, and I want to make sure my family is safe. So this is the emGuarde. Now, if you still ask me, that time I showed this business plan to this uncle. I showed him the product, what it does, then I showed him the price. And he said, Eunice, macam ni tak boleh lah. I said, why? I said, installment plan boleh mah, less than Starbucks coffee per day. And dia cakap, Eunice, I want this emGuarde. So I said, yeah, you need it. And then he said, I also want my coffee. He said, my coffee is my life. So I said, okay, uncle, okay. I understand. Coffee is very important to you. What if I tell you there is a way to get your coffee per day? You still get your coffee? And he said, okay. And also you get your emGuarde for free. And dia punya mata macam ni. His eyes just like, whoa, what? He's like, how do you do that? And I said, can, uncle, can. And he's like, sure not? Free where got this world got free one? And I said, okay, uncle, let me show you the business plan. With your referrals and your help, you can get this emGuarde for free. So now I'm going to show you how this business plan works. But before I do that, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the company, right? So this is the emGuarde company of Japan. We have 25 countries and 42 locations. The recent office that opened is in Nigeria by Mr. Simon Low. This emGuarde company already been 49 years, 49 tahun already, which means they are here to stay. Next year, they're celebrating their 50th year. And imagine, Jepun punya orang kan, Japanese, do they do business short term or long term? They do business long term kan, like Uniqlo, Samsung, Mitsubishi, I think there's more. All these, they do business for the long term. And guess what? This company, we are very well known for our Kangen water machines. Thank you, Rafida, for the long term. Exactly. We are very well known for our Kangen water machines. If you haven't known about it yet, you can ask the one who invited you to this Zoom. We have the ISO 13485, which means this cert is to show that we are a medically certified machine. Now, let me tell you something. Kangen water machine is not a water filter. Bukan water filter. This Kangen water machine is a Japanese medical device. If you imagine all your medical device in a hospital right now, it's about 30 to 40,000 kan. But this is a Japanese medical device. It's also endorsed by Dr. Hiromi Shinya. He's a colonoscopist, also from the American Anti-Cancer Institute and from JAPA. 6,500 doctors in Japan have seen this Japanese Kangen machine and approved, like, you know what? This is a good Japanese medical device. We approve of it and we endorse it. You know? And how how emGuarde started was first used in hospitals in 1974. And then in 1995, they became a household unit. They have a warranty of up to 5 years. It can last up to 25 years or more if you take care well of it, if you take good care of it with maintenance. And once again, we have a global office all around the world. Now, in Magic Business, why I choose this model as the model that I align with. As you know, I mentioned earlier, I'm a public health degree graduate, and I wanted to find a company or just work along, collaborate with people who are also in the same vision and mission. But what I also like about the quality of this business is, number one, is direct selling. Number two, there is no monthly qualifications. That means there's no target sales for you. Now every month you have to sell 10, you have to sell 20. No. There is no monthly qualification, no target sales for direct sales. No inventory and stocks. Wow. Imagine if you start a business kan, like a restaurant or cafe, you have to think of your makanan lah, your minuman, your stock lah, expired stock. You have to bring in more stock. You have to think ahead of time. All these cost money. There is no annual renewal, which means that there is no annual renewal. When you start this business, it's already yours when you invest in a machine. This is based on group accumulative sales, which means that you do not do this business alone. You have to do this with a team. It's a global business. Earlier you saw the map, the world map. We have 25 countries all around the world, and the recent one is in Nigeria. We also have a patented commission plan. This is a patented commission plan. Can you imagine that? These Japanese are so smart. They did this commission compensation plan, which I will show you soon, and they patented it. And also, let me ask you another question. emGuarde is new to this market. It's an untapped market, which means that not only are you investing this for your health, this product, this emGuarde for your health, for you and your family, but you also buy in the opportunity to do a global business in an untapped market. Not a lot of people know this market yet. Not a lot of people know this emGuarde. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think, after seeing all this research of what I shared about you, do you think people should know about emGuarde? Yes or no? Yes kan? And do you think, after seeing emGuarde and what emGuarde can do you think they will buy one? Yes or no? Yes, right. So it is an untapped market. Now, there are different types of commission with this emGuarde company, and I love this. I love the commission part. It's one of my favorite parts, but only today we're going to go through the 8-point patented commission system. Now, once again, I already said earlier, it's a direct sales model. And if you don't know what direct sales is if you start a machine, you invest in emGuarde, let's say today, and you share it with your friends, your sisters, your brothers, and they buy it, you sell a machine, they buy it, it's called direct sales. Now, if your sister or your brother or your uncle is like, hey, I like this emGuarde, I want to share with my colleague and business because it helped me with my headache, it helped me with my migraine, oh, it's so good, I have better quality of sleep. And if they sell to their friends, this is called indirect sales. So direct sales plus indirect sales will give you your group sales. This 8-point commission system, emGuarde in Malaysia, it costs about 6,620, right? For every emGuarde sale, the company emGuarde would set aside 2,400 per sale to give out to distributors like you and me. And they split the 2,400 ringgit into 8 parts, like a pie. So if you see like a pizza or a cake here, each pie, each slice, if you divide 2,400 divided by 8, will be 300 ringgit per point. Per point. In this business, we also have ranks. That's where the accumulation of group sales comes in. Now, when you have your first and second direct sales, you get 300 per point, which means you get a rank of 1A. Now, when you have a total, your third direct sale onwards, you get a point of 600, which means that 1 point times 2, so 300 times 2 is 600. So you become a rank of 2A. When you have a total of 10 group sale, your next direct sale will be a 3A, which means 3 points, 300 times 3. Once again, accumulative, if you get more than 20 group sales and above, your next direct sale, you'll be a 4A. Each point will be 1,200. And if you get a cumulative of 50 group sales, your next direct sales, you'll get a rank of 5A, 1,500 per point. And lastly, the 6A rank, which is 1,800. Accumulative, you would have sold 200 emGuarde group sales. 200 and above emGuarde group sales. Now, when you become a rank of 6A, you actually get a one-time bonus of 3,000 USD. Oh yeah, did I ever tell you that this company also pays in USD? Bagus kan? Happy. I love it. We have also 6A, 6A2, 6A2-3, and then that's where the passive income comes in. But you can ask more about this from your friend who invited you to the Zoom link today. So let's for example, say this is you. You invest in an emGuarde today. You start this business already. You would have a referral ID. Now, let's count your commissions when you start this business. Let's say this is, for example, we just want to see how much money you can make. Example, you sell it to Tom. And Tom is your 1A franchise lane. Like earlier, that slide, the business rank. How much point will you receive? 1 point, which is RM 300 ringgit. Now, if you sell to your second direct sale to Alex, you will still be a 1A rank. You also get a 300 ringgit per point. Now, your third direct sale, you sell it to Rose, your friend Rose. She's very a health conscious person. She said, I always get migraine. And when I see all my screens and things like that, you sell it to her. You open up your 2A franchise lane, which 2A meaning 2 points. So 2 points, 300 times 2, you get 600 ringgit. Now let's look back at Tom. Imagine Tom, he loves this product. He said, Eunice, no more, I don't experience much more numbness in my arm when I use my phone. He sells it to Grace. How much do you think you will get? You will get a commission of 300. Now if Grace sells to Polly sells to Arthur, how much do you think you would have gotten? 300 also. Why? Because Grace, Polly, Arthur is under your 1A franchise lane. Yeah, so we follow back the lane. Whichever lane it comes from, that's where you receive the commission points. Now, your next direct sale, you sell it to Kim. You get a 2A. Kim, 2A, you get 600. Now, if Kim sells to Ali, Abu, and Ani, you also get 600. You also get 600 from Ani. You also get 600 from Abu and Ani. This is all your indirect sales. Your direct sales is the blue circle. Your indirect sales are your black circles here. Now, why 600? Because you follow back your 2A franchise lane. Now, after 10 group sales, your next direct sale, you sell it to May. You open your 3A franchise lane. And how much point will you get? 3 points. So 300 times 3 is 900. Now let's look back at Kim's line. Imagine Ani wants to do this business. She said, hey, I want to recruit Bryce. How much would you get? You get a 600. Sell to Ben, sell to Bob. Now Ani becomes a 2A, 600, 600, 600. Bob sells to Joe, 600, Jack. All you'll get 600. Now, this is your indirect sale. If John sells to Don, that means imagine John just started this business. If he sells to his first direct sale, he's a 1A, right? So if 1A, how much do you think you will get? You will get 1 point. Let's count it together. Remember earlier we had that 8 cake, like a slice like that? Only 8 points is given out. So let's count how many points is given out for this specific line. 1 point given to John because he's 1A, he started out this business. 2 point goes to Bob because he's 2A. 2 point goes to Ani. 2 point goes to Kim. And 1 point goes to you. Why? There's only 8 points that are given out. So you would have gotten 300 ringgit for this sale. Now, if John sells to Dave, you will still get 300. Why? Because John is still 1A. Now, if John sells to his third direct sale, he would have become a 2A, right? Which means that he would have received 2 points. So let's count together how much commission you will receive from this then 2A sale, okay? Let's count together. There's 2 points go to John, 2 points go to Bob, 2 points go to Ani, 2 points go to Kim, and 0 left over for you. All the points already given out. Now, in this case, you receive 0. We call this a non-8A sale. Now, you ask me, let me ask you this question. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Some of you, I tak ada wang lah, tak bagus lah. I know some of you like, I don't have money already, I don't receive any commission, not good. Now, let me tell you something. The company pays out, once again, it's a patented commission system. They do it this way so that it's fair. It's fair and just. And that's how the company has been lasting for more than 49 years, coming up to 50 years. That's why it's sustainable, and that's why this company is here for the long term. They're not going anywhere. And it also means, this non-8A sale means that your team is growing. If your team is growing, bagus kan? Right? Bagus. Now, the interesting part here is that after 10 group sales, let's move on. Imagine your next direct sale after 20 group sales. Let's imagine you have 20 group sales. You sell it to Tony. You open up your 4A franchise lane, which means that each emGuarde sale, you would have gotten 1,200. Now imagine, if you bring in 10 group sales from your 4A lane, how much would you get? 12,000 from that lane. Now let's move on. If you sell it to, like, for example, Simon Low, very big diamond. He has so much connection, so much network. After 50 group sales, each emGuarde sale will be from Simon. The 5A lane is 5 points, which is 1,500. And lastly, after 200 group sale, you sell it to another diamond like Sam Sia. You open up your 6A franchise lane. Each sale, you get 1,800. Now, this is the 8-point commission plan. If you see this here, the money is good, right? Money is coming in. I want to give you a hint. Do you think the money the most money comes from your direct sale or your indirect sale in this point. Direct sale or indirect sale. Your money, your commission is bigger in indirect sale. Even the company in it is very transparent and honest about this. They show you the plan already. They also give you the hint, hey, the money is in your indirect sale. The money is in your, correct, thank you Mahir, your money is in the indirect sale. So don't do this business alone. If you do this business alone, you become the best salesman in the world. You sell 200 emGuarde, you'll be very burnt out. So the company already give you the hint. It's in your group sale, which means you have to build a team with you. Build a team with you. This is a team building business. Not only that, it's also a global business. You saw the world map. We have 25 locations worldwide. Currently, I just mentioned earlier, emGuarde went to Singapore on 2nd of October. So take this opportunity, share it with your friends in Singapore, open up your team there. You know, this is a global network. We want you to be successful in this business. So this is the emGuarde business plan. I've shared with you earlier the product, emGuarde, how it protects you and your family from EM radiation from affecting your blood cells, your eyes. And I've also shown you that not only you invest in this product, you also get to buy into the opportunity to do a global business. What opportunity is there? That's amazing in an untapped market. Now, coming into a close, it's already 9:39. I get very excited when I share about the business plan because the money comes in there. So let me ask you this. Do you think EMR is a problem? Yes, it is a problem. You can type in the chat. Is EM radiation only affecting in Malaysia? No, it's a global problem. Let me drink some water. I also drink some Kangen Yukon tea bags I got from Philippines. Sorry, my throat is a bit dry. But it's a global problem. It's also a pandemic problem. I'm not talking about COVID, but I'm talking about EM radiation, not just in our country. It's also in other countries. It's a global problem. Next, let me ask you, do we have the solution for it? Yes, we do. We have emGuarde. And do we have a market? Yes, we do. We have an untapped market. Lastly, do we have an amazing patented business plan from a 49-year-old private Japanese that is here to stay? Yes, we do. We have an amazing business plan with it. This Enagic company is a 49-year-old Japanese company, and they're based on 3 basic principles. If you have not heard about the 3 basic principles yet, just go ask your friend who invited you to the Zoom. The 3 basic principles about this company, which I align so much, is because they come in with the philosophy of true health based on 3 things. Your physical health, that means you want to protect yourself from EM radiation. Make sure you and your family is protected. Your health is protected. They also come in the second principle is financial health. You saw the business plan, you saw where the money comes in, you saw how this could be a global network business for you. That is your financial health. When you have your physical health and your financial health, you get to have your peace of mind, peace in your mental health. A lot of people who got into this business, they run it part-time or they run it full-time or they run it sometime. This business has not only transformed their lives from inside, they also help to create a generational legacy income. When I say legacy income, which means that this company is generous enough to show that if in the future something happened to you, knock on wood, you can actually pass your rank, you can actually pass your business down to your children. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever worked for another company that is not yours, is not a family business, that is not yours, that would generously enough give you the opportunity to whatever commission that you have earned, if you earn to rank to 682-3 with a passive income of 5,000 USD per month, will you be able to pass this rank down? pass your salary, I'm doing quote unquote a salary down to your children. No. But this company is generous and compassionate enough to do just that. So friends, for those of you who are still here, thank you all so much for hearing in and tuning in. I really do appreciate your time and your night. Last few announcements. If you do decide to get on an emGuarde, go back to your friends who have shared you this link. Ask them about the payment plans. We have installment plans here in Malaysia up to 24 months. And also we have an EKW coming up, Enagic Kangen workshop. Now, EKW event is a huge and amazing event. We have this maybe 2 times per year, and it's coming up in the next 2 weeks. You do not want to miss this event. Why? Because this event, you get to see a lot of other distributors here in Malaysia and people visiting from other countries like Thailand, Cambodia, sometimes India. A lot of people come into this event to learn about the business, to learn about how can you gain more clarity if you have any doubts, if you have any uncertainties, like something you're not sure of. Come to this event and bring people. Now, every time I go to this EKW event, right, every single time, every person I brought in, when I ask them, do you think, after seeing the event is Saturday morning 9 to about 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., every single person that I brought in, I asked them, do you regret not bringing more people in? They always say, yes. I regretted I should have brought my dad, I should have brought my sister, I should have brought my friends, I should have brought my colleague here and look at this business plan because it is amazing. And you get to experience the community, you get to experience other distributors, you get to experience the amazing energy in this organization, in this Malaysia branch. So that will be on the 4th of November in Malaysia, in Citadel Hotel, Mid-Valley. And then also the next day, we actually have a mindset course. They call Change Your Mindset, Change Your Life. Now, for those of you who always have like scarcity mindset, or always fear, or always don't want to take risk, or you have a mental block, or you're burnt out, this is a great course for you. Your mindset is the one thing that you need to invest in. I cannot say this enough. With a shift of perspective, shift of mindset, clarity leads to power. Sam Sia always say, clarity leads to power. When you have more clear direction in your life, you can see your vision of where you want to go. You know what decisions you need to take, what steps you need to take. So if you feel you're lost, or you don't know where to go, you don't know what decisions to make for yourself or your family, when you have clarity on your vision, your values, and your beliefs, it will give you a clear direction. So this is a great course on November 5th. That's the only announcement that I have for today. I'm just checking the next week. I believe we still have the emGuarde demo and business plan or Wednesday that is happening. So come, invite your friends. Make sure to keep the updates on what emGuarde for next week that is coming up. I believe we have another one next week. I'm not sure who's going to take the host from then on, but if there's no one, it will be me if we're still going through it. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Rafida. Thank you, Mahir. Thank you, Duncan, for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions, I'll be here for the next 2-3 minutes. You can ask me, type in the chat if you're shy, and I will try my best to answer your questions.